Okay, so let's go back in Maya, and let's do the handle. So I'm just going to kind of quickly explain how I'm going to do this. All these handle pieces are kind of made up of, it's sort of the same piece kind of duplicated 9 times. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to map this and then take each piece and put them over one another. So I really am only mapping or texturing one piece, and it'll basically mirror over all these other pieces. So that's kind of the concept behind this. But anyway, so with my open here, I'm going to hit Control A and make my window smaller. Then I'm going to go in my Hypershade window and go to Panels, Panel, UV Texture Editor. And as you can see, I've already done this. This is what the end result will look like. But let's go ahead and if you want to cheat, you can just go ahead and not do anything and use this.
I did not cheat. I just merely exited the strategy.
So, but let's go up to Create UVs, Automatic Mapping.
Oh.
And that's going to do some crazy stuff.
No kidding.
So now what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to click on my object here, right click and go into object mode, and go Create UVs, Cylindrical Mapping. And this kind of looks pretty crazy when you do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click on it, go UVs, select all the UVs, and I'm going to move this up. So now what I want to do is, what this is basically all of our pieces here, but we've got the metal pieces too, which is, if you look at this hammer here, it's got these metal pieces and then the leather pieces. And so I want to separate out these leather pieces. So I'm just going to zoom in on my object here, right click, and go to Face. And I'm going to select kind of around these faces here, and then I'm going to hit Control and then select the upper and lower faces, and then it's just going to keep the metal faces selected. So that's how you do that. And then, but a even quicker way is to just zoom out, select the entire thing, select all the faces of the entire thing, and then go in and hold Control, and then just deselect everything that's not a metal piece. So then with those selected, you just go to Create UVs, Cylindrical Mapping. Then I'm going to select my UVs, select these faces, and I'm going to move these down. Just kidding. You guys need to keep up with the rest of the group. Hang on, everybody. We're just waiting on a couple students to catch up. Grab those. You can just grab the green arrows. Okay, so let's move on. So now we've got all these pieces here kind of separated. So I want to put these together. So I want to work in kind of a, just a single view here. So I'm going to hit spacebar in my UV texture editor. And then basically these are all pieces. So I'm just going to right click and go UV and grab each one of these and just move it up.
So we're just condensing them all down to one thing.
Yes.
Map them all to each other.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Oh, there it is. One drop B, just it's all the one line.
You don't have to be like exact perfect, do that.
It'd be nice to get it pretty close.
I figured it out.
How'd you do it?
I just selected one row of vertices, held down V, and then just moved it straight up, and they all snapped in a line.
Really?
Well, one row. Just like select just the top row vertices,
Okay,
or whatever they are.
that's great.
Hold down V, and just move it straight up.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay,
Snap them all.
so yeah, you grab one row here, hold V, and then just move it up.
That way they can
And hopefully you don't forget where you're. There you go. And then just keep moving that and consolidate all these into one. So when you're finished with that, you can do the bottom row now. Which is these guys. I'm gonna, these bottom ones are like really skinny, and so I'm gonna make this a little bit more manageable. I'm just gonna select all these and scale them in and make them a little bit wider. Just so they're a little easier to snap. And I'm just gonna move them closer to each other. I don't think so. Why would you ask such a... Just kidding. I want to know who the first student to complete this is. Has anybody completed this so far? All right.
I did the harder way. I can't do that one. I can't
What? What? Yeah, it's a lot. You get the idea, though. Almost done.
What?
So basically, so they're like really long and skinny. So what you do is grab them all and move them off to the side. Now, shrink them in. Well, you don't want to do that.
As soon as we start counting.
What? Did he just call it animal?
He's entitled to his opinion. Don't be clever.
I didn't know it was anything like animal.
May I play the first one? If that counts.
It doesn't take forever.
For 5 minutes,
It does. You're right. It does take forever.
No.
I thought you can only download it from your phone. I thought you can only download it from like a Dragon's Dark. Oh, did it? Okay.
Heard there was like an annoying part of Resident Evil where you have to escort the one very annoying for the rest of the entire
Resident Evil 4? finished this.
Hey, you guys are fast.
Has it gotten the game of the year?
You want to do mine?
I don't pay attention to other people's. I don't pay attention to other people's.
Yeah, that's true. This Call of Duty guy. Feels really good.
Have you ever tried to fly a helicopter? It is not fun. You can't just hop on the battlefield. I'm gonna fly this helicopter.
Well, that's the same way with Minecraft. If you
You
hop
have
in, you
to
have to
read
actually
the
learn.
read me. Yeah,
Yeah.
Minecraft is something you can hop into.
Did I have to do this? I don't remember. This is one way. There's I don't know. There's other ways to do it. I'm just showing you guys how to do stuff. Okay, I don't know if you guys are done. You're not done?
I even need to use X Factor on it. I didn't even need to use
Oh
X
no,
Factor on it.
Dante and Amaterasu and Deadpool. Never seen that team before.
Actually, I thought it was original.
Getting close to being done.
My team.
What you doing?
Well, I didn't have my copy of my files, but my actual weapons I was recreating them. Now I gotta finish how I'm gonna text it.
This guy's complaining that he's order I even need X Factor. Should I play on Xbox? Yeah, well, I only have the original one. Vanilla. Once it came with the ultimate version, I'm like, I am not buying that.
See how it turns out.
Huh? What I do? Like, what I play? So what do I play? Just finished Corpse Party. Probably gonna get Taking Tag tournament.
I got lost like so hard when I just started looking at the other things.
No? Yeah. I already have.
How exactly can I make it?
It's already, it's been out like for
The outer sort of better. I tried using like actual other like textures. Sort of like
they have all the characters.
but
Even Julie.
it's good on the
Then you know, like my. Did you beat me on that? That would be a cut. No. He actually has a fiance. Yeah. You sound like the guy in high school.
Look at the reference. You know what I'm saying?
You sound like one of the.
Okay, let's move on. So, hey guys, come on. Let's move on here. So I'm gonna hit spacebar here and go back out to my 3D view, and I'm gonna go into object mode. So right-click on your object and click on the hammer and the other piece that you did, and now the handle. And then in your UV texture editor, we want to move this top piece here is the leather part of the handle, and I'm just going to grab this, and I'm just going to kind of scale this in a little bit and move it down here underneath my other cylindrical piece, keeping it similar in size. And then the top piece, I'm going to move right above it, which is our metal pieces, and just keeping it similar in size. Doesn't have to be perfect. So now I have my new piece there, so let's go texture it. So I'm going to go to polygons. Make sure your objects are selected. Go to polygons, UV snapshot again, and you gotta save over your object on your desktop, or your file on your desktop. So click on browse, and then go to desktop, and then where it says outuv.tga, click on that and override it. Then hit OK. And then all I'm going to do is go into Photoshop, and I'm going to trash my old OutUV layer and drag in the new one from the desktop. And then place it. So now your new pieces should show up below, and for the top piece we're going to use brushed metal again, and for the lower piece this time we're going to use the leather part. But this leather picture is like not the same color that I want to use for my reference, so I'm just going to minimize my texture window here, and I'm going to pull in two images here. I'm going to pull in my leather JPEG and my hammer reference JPEG. I'm just going to pull that one in, and then pull in my leather. So this leather is not the same color as the hammer reference. So what I want to do is I want to get it there. So I'm just going to go to Image Adjustments, and I'm going to try Hue and Saturation first. So it's more of like a dark reddish. So that looks pretty good. So I just kind of made it a little darker and just a little bit more red. So it looks pretty close. Then hit OK. Then you can close out your reference, hammer reference. and then go to Window in Photoshop, and there should be a your texture.psd. You can click it, and then all I'm going to do is drag my leather in on that image, and then hit Control T and scale it down. Adjust my opacity so I can see behind it. And since this is cylindrically mapped, we're going to run into the same issues with the tiling that you saw last time. So what I'm going to do is create basically half of this and then horizontally flip it over like I did this other one. So if you've already kind of gone ahead here, you can just sort of trim out your, rasterize your images and trim them. So I'm going to turn snap off. I'm going to go to View, Snap, and turn snap off. And I'm going to drag a guide to the center. And you're probably going to have to do these separately, each piece. So I'm just going to do the leather first. I'm going to drag it to the center. And then I'm going to trim off the extra, actually turn snap back on, go View, Snap, and then trim off the extra bit of your leather. Duplicate the layer. Hit Control T, right click on it, and do flip horizontal. And then hold Shift and drag it to where it snaps to the grid line. And then do your turn off snap, view snap, move your grid line to the center of the other one. Trim that, or turn snap back on. Trim that edge. Oops. Duplicate the layer. Control T. Right click on it. Flip horizontal. Hold Shift and drag it until it snaps to the grid line. So now these are perfectly mirrored. So when you're done with those, select them all, crank the opacity back up, turn off your out UV layer, save the file, and then go back into Maya. And when we're in Maya, we're just going to do the same process that we did to get the blend onto our smaller piece here. So I'm just going to go into my hypershade, I'm going to hit Control A, go to Panels, Panel, Hypershade, and I'm going to middle mouse drag my blend onto the handle, but I need to load the new texture, so I'm going to double click on my blend, click on the little box next to color, and hit reload. And you'll notice when you do that, your leather handle loads right in, and we have no seams.
Watch what you say.
Be in too bad of shape. This is just the less so it's all about
I used to.
That's what I use. I use Spencer, X23, and then whatever.
Way to steal my team, bro.
Spencer,
I gotta go like this. I can't go like this. I gotta go like
If
this.
they catch you in like a low combo, it's like you can just spam people into the corner. It's like terrible. You would like punch me in real life.
But also my mom got problems having pretty good school.
Oh yeah, I stopped playing around with it when it came out.
Gabriel has it. I never bought it, but Gabriel has it.
Nemesis looked awesome.
He's a tank and a paladin. My friend is uncle.
Did you play it like right when it came out?
Yeah, but it wasn't my copy.
Remember before they patched Sentinel?
Yeah. Oh, the truck.
There was just this one 10-hit combo that they could redo forever.
What started it all? Freaking kick.
Yeah, that kick is...
It kicked at such a wide area. So much damage.
How was Tekken versus Street Fighter? I heard it was
Tekken versus Street Fighter is, it's not really the greatest thing. It'd be better with Tekken tournament. It makes it, Tekken tournament compared to Tekken versus
You can't even compare it. You can't even compare it. You can tag.
Yeah, I kind of wish they had pulled the Street Fighter guys into the Tekken style.
That's for PS3.
That is coming out?
That's for, no, that was for PS3.
Okay.
The opposite was for Xbox.
There's a West Alt called
The Xbox has a PS3.
Man, I used to have this thing.
like really crappy Tekken knockoff, but you can go in and like animate the characters to do whatever you want. Yeah. Like you can just create, you can make your guys do whatever you want. It's like a little animation program that you. Let's see if I can do this.
I find she
Yeah, absolutely.
My first fighting game was Street Fighter 2 though.
Yeah, this was fun.
Oh, yeah, this is the USP control, dude.
Oh yeah. Well, the UFC is actually a little bit calm.
What?
Yeah, something like that.
And there were all these games that were like already
And then you got this guy. What the? What?
This is like my favorite game. Texas.
This is Texas. Imagine something like
What?
with the
What? It came from the.
Yeah. And it like teaches you.
What? That's gravel. What?
Yeah, that was a
So personally, my first fighting game was Street Fighter 2.
yeah, Street Fighter 2. I love Tekken 3.
Taken 3.
Yeah.
Legit when Jun first showed up.
Yeah. Tekken 3 and Eddie first
Was
showed up.
dead.
I played the crap out of that game. It's like, let's see, I had for PlayStation 1, I had like all of JRPGs for it. Like, they were like Japanese RPGs, just the best.
So second and third station, I played as Paul. That was the only guy that had like that I knew his one hitter attack. Because every character has their one hitter where if you hit them once, KO, or they like they got like I think it's life left.
Yeah, yeah.
And Paul was the only one I knew. And Tekken 4, I tried to play as Jen. That's when he was. But Tekken 5, that's when I started playing as Double Jen.
I missed 5, then I had 6. I got all 9 then, I was 6. Just because it had like pretty much all the characters. Who was missing? There were a couple people missing.
Tekken 6. June, you pronounce that.
Yeah.
Was Eddie in there?
Yeah, Eddie.
Okay.
how'd you get
I
that
don't
shit?
know.
They had like 40 characters. Had Jin, had Devil Jin.
Marshall?
Yeah, yeah, I'd say Law,
Still recording? Yes. What's that? Still recording? It is recording, yeah.
Peanut butter.
What's wrong with you?
Double Jen. But definitely cheap. However, only if you blew up and you get the beam all the time. If you spam that, that was completely cheap.
Okay.
I just left you a cut on this. You know, like a cut out for this for the peanut
Yeah.
butter and cut it.
Okay, hey guys, the rest of this hammer, that was all really the stuff I wanted to show you on this hammer. We can texture this, but it's pretty much the same sort of stuff. It's me showing you how to do this. And then we have another cylindrical piece up here. But from what I showed you, I mean, that's pretty much the basics of how to texture stuff. There's also, I just showed some of the other guys. Like, for example, this handle is like leather, but the pieces are metal. So we want those to have different shaders on them. So it's pretty easy to do that. Basically, you just, in your hypershade, you create a new material called a Lambert. So I'm going to create that, and then I'm just going to load the same texture onto this one Lambert. And then all I'm going to do here is, since my metal pieces are on here are already shiny, I'm just going to select just the leather pieces. And then I'm going to click on that Lambert and hit Assign Material to Selection. And now you'll notice that I have shiny pieces, that my leather is no longer shiny, but my shiny pieces are on the metal. So you can actually like apply materials to not just a single object, but like a face. So I can click this face, click on the blend, and say Apply, and now that particular face is shiny. That makes sense.
Do you have a good website for that one?